This conversation is taking place at the Grand Opera House.
Some of the statistics around child sexual abuse are pretty scary, and yet not a lot of people know about that. Does that show up in your court a lot, that kind of criminal behavior?
Absolutely. What shows up, first of all, is when we do the Division of Family Services cases, which are child welfare cases, when unfortunately the state needs to take children out of their home when they've been sexually abused or physically abused. But in talking about sexual abuse, typically you don't know who in the home has perpetrated the abuse. We're very lucky at AI Hospital that we have Dr. DeYoung. We have a nationally renowned child abuse doctor in the state of Delaware who we work with. So it shows up first in child welfare. Then oftentimes, now that we are tracking statistics and we understand more where things are coming from, it then shows up again in juvenile justice. Well, before it shows up in juvenile justice, it's showing up in the schools. Not necessarily the sexual abuse, but the trauma that the child has had from the sexual abuse oftentimes shows up in other behavioral issues such as post-traumatic stress disorder or ADHD or any other of a number of issues that may be behavioral issues. Then, from the juvenile justice system, if we don't get our arms wrapped around it, and if they haven't begun to sexually abuse themselves, which the majority of them don't, but that is always a concern, then we talk about the pipeline from schools to the adult prison, the juvenile justice school pipeline to the adult prison. So we really need to get our arms wrapped around the sexual abuse issue, and quickly and fundamentally well.
Is your court big enough, do you think?
Big enough in terms of
Size.
person power?
Yeah, person power.
I think right now we're okay. I'm not an advocate of growing government. I very much support what Governor Markell has been doing in trying to reduce the size of government. I think that what we've done in family court is we're working hard every day to change how we do business, to modernize how we do business so that we can shift resources appropriately. I think as you see some of the changes that we hope to have on the horizon in juvenile justice and the changes there, our hope in the end game is to be able to shift resources enough that we would be able to move things around within our court before we needed to make it bigger.
Chandlee, what do you do when you take the robe off? What do you do for fun?
Anybody that knows me knows that I'm a yoga practitioner. I'm also a yoga teacher. And my passion is to bring yoga, mindfulness, and breathing into every at-risk community in the state of Delaware. So I'm on a National Yoga Service Council, which is working to do just that. We have one teacher at the Terry Center right now, a teacher at the Rockford Center. We hope to be bringing yoga and mindfulness into Fair School in the near future. That's my passion. And then, of course, my greatest passion, other than the hobby passion, is my family.
How do the young people react to yoga at the Terry Center?
It's really interesting, and I've practiced yoga in detention centers across the country at this point, and it's fascinating when you first go in. And we've also taught, at Henrietta Johnson in Southbridge. We taught there not this past summer, but the summer before. There's usually hesitation. It's something foreign, it's something new, and then typically there's a number of core kids who really start enjoying it and loving it. A good friend of mine teaches yoga in San Quentin, and he said that the men often talk about that's the only place that they're really safe to lie down and close their eyes.
I think society looks to its institutions to either solve their problems or help them solve their problems. And I think the family court, as you said earlier, people who are in need are in that court in one way or another. Just how far can your court go to helping people? And are there societal needs that you just can't address in family court?
Family court can only go as far as a court order can extend. the court actually enters the order, and it's the other organizations that help us, the court, to carry out the services to the individuals in Delaware. So in the big picture, although we are there for the folks who are in the most crisis or at the point in time that their marriage is dissolving, we really need to rely upon our communities to be the fixers. And when I was speaking about, my outside interests, oftentimes that's why I get so excited about having to be able to go into the community with yoga or with any other activity that we can go into the community so that we can go beyond the court order in an appropriate way and reach down and out into the community so that the community can better understand how the court works and can help us better serve the individuals in Delaware.
Thank you for coming.
Thank you very much, Mr. Taylor.
You're connected with Content Delaware.